What skill is definitely worth learning?
Cleaning. Just basic things like knowing how to sweep the floor, or what cleaning products to use on what surfaces. It blows my mind that most of my adult roommates were not taught how to clean their house while growing up. How does one not know how to sweep a floor? I feel like people who don't clean their house are just being lazy rather than not actually knowing how to clean. Truthfully, my mom hired a cleaning service and I was never taught how to do it methodically and systematically until my spouse showed me. I truthfully didn't know how to clean. You'd be surprised. Some people just randomly sweep here and then there, leaving large sections of floor unswept. I saw my friend do this and told her my method of spiraling in from the outer edges of the room, moving furniture as necessary, which eventually creates one dirt pile in the middle of the room. She'd never thought of that. Lol. If you think it logically, how are you supposed to know how to clean? Sure, things like sweeping are self-explanatory, but when you start to go more into the more dirty things it gets less self-explanatory. For example, if you have to clean mold, because if somebody doesn't know how to clean, they probably have mold somewhere, unless somebody teaches you or you look it up in the internet. There is no way for anybody to know that you need bleach and water in a ratio of 1:10 to clean it, and it isn't even efficient, as bleach can't kill all the mold. I've been taught how to sweep by 4 different bosses 4 different ways. And every one of them said, hasn't anyone ever taught you how to sweep before? Wait till you have children. I used to be so stressed trying to keep my house clean around the kids. Now a good once over here and there suffices. Embrace the dust and enjoy the children. Cooking. You don't have to master it, but learn a couple of basic recipes to cook. You save money and it's always better than ready-to-eat food. A lot of foods are definitely easy to make. Spaghetti, burgers, meatloaf, or even just oven-baked chicken. It's way healthier too. I imagine you are referring to our day-to-day staple dinners. Honest question, are there things that are difficult to make on the regular, that aren't some sort of niche delicacy? There are things that are more difficult, but I suppose it differs from person to person. I think lasagna is hard to make. I always have trouble with fried foods too. Or certain things are more time-consuming. I'm no top chef or anything, but I enjoy cooking. Basic foods can be difficult, yeah. Fried foods with a commercial deep fryer are dead simple. At home with a pot of oil and a thermometer? That takes comes know-how. And even then shit goes sideways sometimes. Lasagna shouldn't really be all that hard. It's just annoying and time-consuming preparing all the different components and then assembling the damn thing. Although, baklava was worse. Phyllo, butter, nuts, phyllo, butter, nuts. I really want to try to make it again with pistachios instead of walnuts, but just can't bring myself to bother. My lasagna is just throwing the sauce in a pot. Add whatever I want to it like a soup. I layer it with cheese. It's actually cashews I soaked in hot water, nutritional yeast, garlic powder, salt, and lasagna noodles. The difficulty is probably layering wet noodles. I do not cook the noodles first, I just throw the stiff Barilla pasta in there and pour my sauce then cheese on it and layer again. Chooks pastry is hard to make. You need specific grades of flour and you have to warm water till the first bubble appears in the pan. If more than one bubble appears, and you mix in the flour anyway, it's ruined and your pastry won't rise. It's like alchemy practically. I like to find any opportunity to tell people about the time I first made a full course Thanksgiving to myself because I was far away from all my family members on the other side of the country. I worked at a grocery store stocking food, so I took that time to read the instructions and figured it shouldn't be that hard to do. I successfully cooked a full turkey, ham, all kinds of sides and had leftovers for 2 weeks lol. Except for corn dogs. I'm a former pro, and a pretty competent home cook, and sometimes a frozen corn dog is exactly what's needed. Pro tip, 45s or so in the microwave, then 4 to 5 minutes at full blast in the toaster oven is the best way to cook them outside of a deep fryer. Another thing to keep in mind is that the first, second and, maybe, third time you make something, it seems time consuming. Once you've made it a few times, it becomes way quicker. It can easily go from being 90 minutes hands-on time to 30 minutes hand-on. Even little thing like knowing which pot to use or the best order to prep ingredients makes a huge difference in the time it takes. Honestly, the learning curve is just that short.